welcome to another virtual Come and Taste It. I'm joined by Mike from Hye Meadow Winery out in Hye, Texas.
Hello, good morning, everybody.
I'm super excited to do this one with Mike. One of the coolest guys in the industry, I gotta say. Why don't we talk a little bit about Hye Meadow first before we start drinking?
Sure.
Or tasting, excuse me.
So I started back in 2012. We have 5-acre vineyard on property that takes up a lot of our time winemaking.
And that's super cool. I do want to note that this is the first time we've actually had a winemaker on this virtual thing. So I really want to get into a little bit more about the winemaking process. We're starting today with the hop Sauvignon Blanc.
Mm-hmm.
And I've never heard of a hop Sauvignon Blanc before. So I remember you coming in maybe 2 or 3 years ago, and we were just kind of chatting, and this was a whole new thing. It wasn't even out yet, and I'm super excited to be talking about it today. So I'm going to pour a little bit in there, and we can kind of just chat about why did we hop the Sauvignon Blanc?
So I had someone working for me who was from Denver about 4 years ago, and he had tried a hop Sauv Blanc up in Denver from a company, and he really didn't like it, but he's like, I think, it could be cool to try it. So I had Sauv Blanc coming in that harvest, and we did not only Sauv Blanc, but 3 other white varietals, and then we did 8 different hops. So 32 different trials. And then we did that trial 3 times.
Wow.
So, because you have to do it for different times, it's like making a dish, it's like, okay, do we cook it this long, at this heat? So we tried all these different variables. The one that stood out with this was the Sauvignon Blanc. And what we wanted to create was something that was interesting, but not a beer. I'm not an IPA guy. I'm a porter and much darker, richer beers. And this was something that just lifted the aromatics. And you get the hops on the very backside, but it's not the bite.
Mm-hmm.
It's just enough to confuse people.
I love that. That's awesome. So Sauv Blancs were typically going to experience something more, lighter bodied, crisp, got great fruit on them if you're going like Australia, New Zealand. Mm-hmm. This one in particular, checks all the boxes. I mean, it's wonderful, but that hopped element just adds a whole nother, freshness to it. It's really incredible.
And one of the coolest things, hops is a natural preservative. So
yes,
you can pour you 2 glasses, put it back in the fridge, forget about it, and it's like next weekend, it's like, oh, the hop is back there, and it's like, it will still be fresh.
And it's still good.
Yeah.
It's for those people, not just those people, but a lot of those people that take a while to drink a glass, maybe drink a bottle. Not us, but they exist. All right, so let's see what it tastes like. Yeah, that's awesome. I feel like you get a little more maybe tropical fruit.
A little tropical. I get the green apple on the finish. Good acidity. And then the hops, I really don't get it till the very, very end. But it's just a really good mouthfeel. And it's like front to back, bone dry. There's no sugar in this. So it's one of those wines where you smell it and you get all these aromas, and it almost gives a little bit of sweetness to it. But it's a summer drinker. It goes great with the afternoon, starting off with cheese board or whatnot. Pretty flexible. It's also our #1 Super Bowl wine.
Super Bowl wine.
Yeah, because it's kind of a crossover for people who aren't really wine lovers, but it's like, oh yeah, this has hops in it, and the beer guys are like, oh yeah, I'll drink that.
Kind of a middle of the road thing.
It's
bridge wine for people.
It really does. It amazes beer drinkers that they can like wine that typically don't like it.
Happy couple special. only at the Grapevine and Hye Meadow. Okay, so tell us a little bit about this Dolcetto. This is kind of a varietal that I've seen gain a little more popularity in Texas. Probably my first Dolcetto was Hye Meadow, though, but I have not a ton of experience with this one.
So Dolcetto here in Texas, in Italy, Dolcetto means a little sweet one. And it's not that it's a sweet red wine, it's that it's very fragrant on the nose. It smells sweet, pops red fruit. So we do Dolcetto, we make it in two styles. So we ferment normal for both of them, but with the Novello, we'll go into neutral barrels, and I normally do like 3. And then we keep it in barrel for 2 to 3 months, and then we bottle. Unfiltered, unfined. So it is a lighter, fruitier. The mouthfeel is completely different because you get all the stuff from the barrel unadulterated. And the coolest thing, since it's so young, when we bottle it, it changes every 2 weeks. You get a different flavor profile.
Wow.
So, like, if we try to do tasting notes on this, you'd have to change them up every 2 weeks.
Wow.
It changes that drastically.
Keeps you on your toes a little bit. That's fun. That's super good. I would almost compare that to like almost maybe a Pinot Noir with a little more rigidity, and yeah. It's got a lot more character than something. Not to say Pinot Noirs don't have character, but there's something about Texas soil and Texas. You can taste Texas in this, and alongside with like those nice bright fruity notes, it's really wonderful. I like this a lot.
So I've got one of the Primos, which is green egg style, made here in the United States, but it does the big lump charcoal. This is my lump charcoal starter wine.
Oh,
so, because it takes about 20 minutes, so my wife and I, we can get the coals going and pop this, and it's just the early afternoon or before you start getting into anything heavy, that you're just sitting outside like a day on today. It's just light, bright, and just made for Texas.
I love it.
Just made for Texas.
Is there some goals right here? Straight up goals. A nice glass of wine with every second of the day. I love it. All right. So finally we have Jinx. Now Jinx is something. Hi Jinx. We love the name. It's something that we've carried quite a bit in the past, and it's really popular with a lot of our customers, a lot of our regulars. This, to me, when I'm selling it, when I'm telling people, hey, this is something you ought to try, we kind of said, happy medium with the hop, the Super Bowl wine. Mm-hmm. This one is kind of something I love to give to people who aren't quite sure what they drink yet. Maybe they know they like something sweet, but they don't like sweet Moscato, right? They just want something a little brighter. Tell us a little bit about the Jinx and maybe why that's such a great wine to sort of start with.
So with Hye Jinx, what I originally wanted to do was, I was trying to do a co-fermentation, a red and a white. But the way harvest works, the whites usually come in before the reds, and I wanted to do a Viognier, which is really aromatic, with a red. It just didn't work out. But this is a 50-50 blend, Mourvedre and Carignan. Carignan, typically a blender, really rich, pretty opulent as far as texture. And in Mourvedre, a little lighter here in Texas, the way it comes out, but just bouquet crazy. So huge aromas. And we just started on accident, blended them up, and it was like, man, this is good. And it's meant to be. It spends about a year in barrel, and then we bottle. We do just a little bit of residual sugar, not so it's Moscato sweet, but just for mouth feels. And then sugar also adds, of course, roundness, because it puts weight into it. So it's just enough to where it activates, and a little bit of fullness in the mouth. but it's still light, bright, and just a good overall. And it goes crazy good with barbecue.
Oh, and that's
Yeah.
kind of a necessity in Texas, I think, with so many great barbecues. Got to have a great wine to pair with it.
And I love the peppery ends.
Oh yeah,
So that little bit of sweetness with the pepper and just the the good rub on a brisket, it just goes really well.
hits the classic like savory sweet thing.
Oh yeah, yeah. This brisket and a big hunk of cheddar. That was that's one of my go-tos.
Well, Mike, it's been a really, really big pleasure to have you out here. I never knew I wanted to do these virtual come and taste it as much as I do, and I'm super excited to have you for this one. So, thank you again. Thank you for making
cheers,
such
man.
great wine. Cheers to you. Check out these 3 at the Grapevine in addition to some more, and always keep your eye out because this guy's cooking something awesome up for you. Cheers.
Cheers, Joe.
Thank you so much, my friend.
No problem,
It's super
man.
cool to do this with you.